Hello, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Jessica. I am a member of 5 Dinners in 1 Hour, and I am getting ready to prep my meals for the week using our 5 Dinners 1 Hour meal prep system. So I got online this week, I selected the meals that I wanted to make, I set my serving size, it generated a grocery list for me, and then I did grocery pickup, got my stuff, and now I've set everything out that I need for prep. So I've gone down my menu, down this middle column. It's told me everything that I need for prep. I put my meat into bags and got all my ingredients out, and we are ready to prep. I'm going to show you how easy it is to prep using our meal prep system, where all the work is done for you, and it's designed for you to get these meals ready to be cooked, and so that way all you have to do is pull them out of your refrigerator whenever it's time for cook day. So I'm going to show you step by step what it looks like, and I'm going to tell you which meals we've picked for today. So I have picked the slow cooker red pesto chicken, the easy cheddar chicken crescent rolls, which is one of our very favorites, the Mongolian ground beef ramen bowls, another one of our favorites, the huli huli chicken, and the pesto salmon pasta. So those are the 5 that I have picked, and I set my serving size for a size of 3. The beauty of the meal plans is that you can set the serving size for whatever size works for your family, so that way you don't have wasted food. And 3 works great for us. So, okay, we're gonna do the slow cooker red pesto chicken. I have printed out my menu here. For me, it works easier to print it out. You don't have to print it if you don't want to, but I've printed out the menu that I've selected, and it gives me step-by-step instructions on exactly how to prep it, and then of course on cooking day, how to cook it. So the first one tells me that it just says add all ingredients to a large zipper bag, zip to seal, and swish around and mix. Super easy. So I already have my chicken in the bag, and I'm just gonna add all the rest of the ingredients that it tells me on my menu. So the recipes are divided into 3 columns. You have a middle column that gives you all the ingredients that you need for prep day or assembly day, and then it gives you instructions for prep day, and then this column over here is gonna give you any additional ingredients that you need for cooking day, such as sides, and any instructions that you need for cook day. So after we get this one prepped, I'll tell you exactly what it's gonna look like on cooking day and how easy it is to get it on the table on cook day. So this is just gonna take all of that time that you spend in the kitchen. Typically, if you're just doing regular dinners every day, I used to, before this meal plan system, I used to spend so much time in the kitchen every night just to get one meal ready. So this takes that time out, because what you're doing is you're picking about an hour of your week every week to get all the chopping done, get everything marinated. You're basically getting your kitchen messy one time a week to get all those meals prepped. And then throughout the week, as you're pulling things out and you're cooking them, everything goes super smooth. You're not getting your kitchen really messy like you are right now. And it just makes cleanup super fast and getting dinner on the table super fast. Okay, so I have my red pesto that I put in here and my garlic. I'm gonna go ahead and season it up with my salt and pepper. So just all these ingredients that are listed for assembly day, I'm just putting right in the bag. You can use bags, you can use containers, whatever works for your family will work. So we have people that like to use the reusable bags. And my last thing that I need to put in is my Italian seasoning. And this one, that's all I have to do to prep it ahead of time. So I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna look like on cooking day. There are measurements on all the recipes. Once you set your serving size, it'll give you quantities for everything. So my dog is making noise. I'm gonna see if I can remedy that. Anyway, it'll give you all the quantities that you need based on the serving size that you set. And so you can just go based off that. I tend to eyeball ingredients, but you do whatever works for you. Okay, so this one, that's all we have to do to prep it ahead of time. So that red pesto, I've never actually had red pesto before, so this is a new one to us, and it looks delicious. So we are going to, that'll go in the refrigerator until it's time to cook it. And then if you, when you buy fresh meat, just put the sell-by date on your bag. So I put the name of the mill, I actually put the wrong name first, I had to scratch it out. I put the name of the mill on here, and then you also write the date the sell-by date of the meat on there. And that way you know in what order to cook these in. So this one was just about 5 days from now. So I know that I have until towards the end of the week to cook this one. So just write that sell-by date on your bag so that way you know exactly, like, you know, when you need to cook it by. But it totally works. I've been doing this meal plan system for 6.5 years, something like that. And it has been such a lifesaver for our family. Okay, so that first one is ready to go. So on cooking day, it just tells me that I'm gonna add my chicken mixture to the slow cooker. We're gonna cook it up till it's done, and we're gonna add heavy cream and spinach at the end of our cook time. And then all of the recipes come with suggested serving sides. So this one suggested serving side is couscous and green beans. That'll go on your grocery list so you know exactly what you need for prep day, and you know exactly what you need for to go with it on cook day. So that'll come into play on cook day. This one is ready to go. This is the red slow cooker red pesto chicken for a serving size of 3. I'm just gonna put that behind me. And then we're gonna move on to meal number 2. These are one of our very favorites, especially one of my kids' favorites. These are the Easy Cheddar Chicken Crescent Rolls. So I'm going to, I'll use my baggie holder here. We always have people ask about these baggie holders. You can just get them from Amazon, and they are just baggie holders. That's all you search for. They're not, you don't have to have them, but they sure do make it easy to keep those bags open while you're prepping. Okay, so for this one, it tells me in a large bowl, I'm just using the bag to add my first 4 ingredients. Now, I already have my cooked chicken in here. You can buy already cooked chicken, like rotisserie chicken. You can even buy it already shredded for you if you want to save another step. That totally works. I usually use my Instant Pot, and I cook my own because it's fast and it's cheap. So whatever works for you. So this is the filling that's going to go into our crescent rolls on cooking day. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put in my ranch seasoning in here. This one's also set for a serving size of 3. We have people that use this meal plan that just prep for themselves, that just do a serving size of 1. We have people that prep for large families that might have 9 or 10 people in their family. So it really does work for any size family, because you get to change that serving size, and it's going to adjust the quantity of the ingredients that you need for prep day, you know, for cook day, and it's going to generate that grocery list. And that is one of the best parts, is having that grocery list, so you know exactly what you need. You're not going to have to go to the store midweek because you forgot something. So it's also going to divide it by section of the store just to make it even easier to get in and out of the store quickly. And if you're like me and you like to use Instacart, there's actually an Instacart button where you can click it and it'll add all those groceries to your Instacart, which is super nice. So, okay, I need one more ingredient here, and that is my cream cheese. So I'm gonna put that in here. I probably could soften it in the microwave for about 15 seconds to make it even easier to incorporate, but it has been sitting out for a little bit of time, so hopefully this will just mix together nicely. So we're gonna serve this on crescent rolls. And on cooking day, we will just fill the crescent rolls, and then we'll cook it in the oven. These are super kid friendly, so if you have kids, this is one of my kids' favorites. And you can also use this one as a lunch recipe if you want to use it for a lunch recipe. But this one is so yummy. I feel like almost anything in a crescent roll is yummy, right? So I do have picky eaters in my household, and these meal plans work for us because we get to pick the recipes that we make. There's so many recipes to choose from. We have the family combo plan, which means we get all the classic, all the clean eating recipes. So there's just tons to choose from, and we get new recipes every month. So because of that, there's plenty that my picky eaters will eat. So, okay, my dog has decided to join us. She needs to go outside. Okay, so I'm gonna squish this around, and I think I've pretty much gotten that cream cheese incorporated. So this is gonna go, just take the crescent rolls, fill them up on cooking day. You can, if you wanna, just go ahead and fill them up right now. You could do that. I'm just doing it this way to save a little bit of space in my refrigerator. So that one is ready to go. These are the easy cheddar chicken crescent rolls, also set for a serving size of 3. So I'm going to set that behind me. So that was meal number 2, and I'm just going to move right along to meal number 3, which is another one of our very favorites. Let me grab my meat back here. These are the Mongolian ground beef ramen bowls. They are so good. Another really kid-friendly one. So if you have picky eaters, this is another one that I would give it a try. So for this one, we are going to season up our ground beef, which I have here in a bag. And I actually had mine frozen. That's why it's flat. So when I freeze my ground beef, I like to freeze it flat because it just saves room in my freezer and I can just stack it up. So this is like almost thawed here. So I'm going to season that up. And then everything else is just going to go in this small bowl. And that's going to be my sauce for cooking day. So first thing I'm going to do is season up my ground beef. So my recipe just says to add the first 4 ingredients to a large zipper bag and then zip it up and squish it around and mix it all around. So I'm going to do that first. Grab my onion right here. So a lot of the recipes will call for, like if it calls for onion, it will call for frozen chopped onion. And that just makes one less step for you to do on prep day if it's already chopped up for you. So you can actually find that in your freezer section, the freezer section of your grocery store. That'll just save you even more time. And I love that the recipes are very easy to prep and not time consuming at all. So you can easily get 5 meals prepped in an hour or less. They're just, and I always tell people, if you can read a recipe, I promise you can do this. Anybody can do these recipes. They make it so easy. They take all the think work out of it. And they've done such a good job of thinking ahead of like what can be prepped ahead of time, what needs to wait until cook day. So all that work is done for you. So just read down the instructions, do what it tells you to do, and it really is that easy. Okay, so I'm gonna squish that around to mix up the seasonings in my meat, and then I'm going to put everything else in the bowl to make the sauce. So I'm gonna squish that around. And I realized I forgot to label that back, so I'll do that when we're done. Also, as you're prepping, try to get the air out of your bags. That'll help it stay fresher even longer. So I'm gonna try to get as much air out of there as I can. Plus it will take up even less room in your refrigerator that way if you have less air. Okay, so now I'm gonna put everything else in my bowl. My instructions just say mix remaining ingredients together in a container with a lid. So I'm going to add all of my sauce ingredients here. There we go. This one is so good. My kids, we had this one on repeat a lot. So the nice thing about the meal plans is you do get new recipes every month. So every month you're gonna get new stuff, so you're not getting tired of eating the same stuff over and over again. But if there's things that you really loved and you wanna make it over and over again or again, you can save it to your favorites folder. So this was one of those meals quite a while ago now that we had, that we loved, and I saved it to our favorites folder. There's a little heart on the recipe that you can click to save it to your favorites folder. So we did that, and we have made this one so many times. I really probably have it memorized by now. We've made it so many times, but it is delicious. But I love that we do get new recipes every month, so you don't get tired of eating the same things over and over. There's a lot of variety with the meal plans. Okay, I'm gonna put in, I already did my garlic. I'm gonna do my rice wine vinegar now into my sauce. Once again, I am eyeballing, but you can measure there according to the serving size that you set. And somewhere I put my ginger. No, I don't know where I put it. So that, oh, here we go. And my ginger. And I actually ran out of fresh ginger. I prefer to use fresh, but I actually don't know if I ran out or if I lost it. But anyway, so if you don't have fresh, you can use dry ginger, and that works. That works as well too. Okay, so that one is ready to go. This is our sauce for cooking day. Now this is a skillet meal, and the meal plans have all different types of cooking. So there's some slow cooker meals, there's some grilling meals, there's oven meals. There are a few skillet meals, and we don't have a lot because they want you to be able to take the meal out of the refrigerator, put it in like the slow cooker, the oven, or whatever, and walk away and not have to have a lot of hands-on time, which I really appreciate. So there's a few skillet meals, but all the ones that we have are super fast and easy. So let me tell you what this is gonna look like on cooking day. So for this one, it says we're going to We're gonna serve this with ramen noodles. So I just bought the packages of ramen. You don't have to use the seasoning packet. You're just gonna cook the noodles. It tells you to cook the noodles, which takes about 2 minutes. We're gonna cook the ground beef in a skillet, which takes about, what, 6 minutes. And then we're gonna add our sauce to the mixture. And they also have you add some broccoli florets, which will tell you to get on your grocery list. Add that to the pan. Add your ramen noodles when they're done. And then the suggested serving side for this one is frozen egg rolls. So it'll have you buy those, so you'll cook those while you're cooking this over the skillet. We have this one all the time. We get dinner on the table in less than 15 minutes with this one, and it is so good. So this is the Mongolian ground beef ramen bowls. That was meal number 3. Our next one, let me wipe down my counter a little bit here. I like to prep beside my sink because it's really easy cleanup that way. And then I usually have a trash can over here. So that way I can kind of get things cleaned up as I go along. And then when I'm all done, I'll put everything in the fridge, pantry, back where it goes. Usually takes about 10 minutes to clean everything up and put everything in the fridge. Okay, so the next meal number 4, is the Huli Huli chicken. We've had this one before. It is also delicious. And I also feel like, of course, I tend to just pick things that are kid-friendly, right? Because I have picky kids. So this is another kid-friendly one. This one actually calls for chicken thighs. I'm using chicken tenderloins. Don't be afraid to substitute out protein types or different types of the same protein. Whatever works for your family, whatever you prefer, it will totally work. So for this one, it says to put my chicken in a bag, which I already did. And then it says mix remaining ingredients in a bowl. We're gonna pour half of it over here and keep half for cooking day. I actually forgot to grab another bowl, so let me grab one. And somewhere I have a lid for this one, so when I store my meals, I'll just pop the lid on that. So I'm gonna pour all my sauce ingredients in here. So let me grab my ketchup. And once again, I'm eyeballing, but you can use the measurements that are on your recipe once you select your serving size. So the recipes are originally written for a serving size of 6, but you can adjust that up or down to whatever size works for your family. So like I said, we do a serving size of 3 because we have kids that don't eat a lot yet, although the day is coming, or we'll have to up that serving size, I'm sure. Okay, some brown sugar in there. Okay, and then my pineapple. So this, you're gonna use some of the pineapple juice, but then you're gonna save the rest, the pineapple, for cooking day. So that's one of your serving sides to go with your Huli Huli chicken is pineapple. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of the juice from the can. Now I won't store this in the can because you don't need to store stuff in a can in the refrigerator once it's opened. So I will just pour this in a little Ziploc bag or container, and then I'll save it for cooking day. Okay. Let me get my garlic in there. I do like to mince my own garlic, in case you're wondering what I'm doing here. I just buy the bags of garlic cloves that are already peeled. I pop it in my little mini food processor, which is actually this is the container for it. And I pulse it for about 20 seconds or less. And then I always have fresh garlic that way. I store it in the freezer. So every time I prep, I just pop it out of the freezer. I get what I need and I put it back in. I just made a fresh batch today. So I'll pop that in the freezer when we're done here. Okay, so I'm gonna give that a little stir. There is my sauce. And I'm gonna add a little bit more ketchup since I eyeballed that. I don't think I got quite enough. So let me add a little bit more of that. And then half of this is gonna go on the chicken, and then half is going to go saved for cooking day. So this one is, let's see, I'm not actually sure because I can't remember. This one's a grilling mill. So the directions for cook day on this one say grill the chicken. It says use the reserved marinade for dipping. And then suggested serving sides with this one are baked beans and sliced pineapple and Hawaiian rolls, which is one also really, we never serve them on Hawaiian rolls. You could also serve it on the Hawaiian roll if you wanted to. That would be really good too. Or you could just have them as a side. So, okay, we're gonna save about half of that for the day that we cook. This is also set for a serving size of 3. Sometimes I will set them for 6 if we want to have leftovers. But I love that I have that option to just change it up based on how many people we're going to be serving, or like I said, if we want to have leftovers for the next day. So, okay, that one is ready to go. When I'm done prepping here, I will get my lid out and put a lid on this. So that is the Huli Huli chicken, meal number 4. Okay, and we're gonna move on to meal number 5. So it really is like, I'm just reading down the instructions. It really is this easy to use these meal plans. I don't know about you, but I have a couple of times before I found 5 dinners in 1 hour. I have done like the major long marathon freezer meals. Have y'all ever done that before? Where you're like cooking all this stuff as you're prepping? Like, this is not that. This is so easy. You're not having to cook up stuff while you're prepping. It's simply just chopping, marinating, things like that. So it really is a very simple prep that's not gonna take you a lot of time, and it's just gonna make your life so much easier at dinner time when it's time to cook. So, okay, now this one is, the very last one is the pesto salmon pasta. Now, we are using shrimp because we like shrimp better, and that totally works. And I also had it in the freezer. So this one's also set for a serving size of 3. So when it calls for salmon, I'm just gonna use shrimp. So this one says to add my first 4 ingredients to a large zipper bag. So I'm gonna basically season up my shrimp here. And if you were using salmon, you'd be seasoning up your salmon here. I do think, oh no, here it is. Okay, I need my garlic, which smells really good. I love the smell of fresh garlic. And a little bit of olive oil, which I'm running low. So when you get your grocery list, it's gonna divide it by section of the store. So what you need for cook day, for assembly day, by section of the store. There's always a section at the end that says pantry staples. So those are the things that you typically won't have to buy very often, like your seasoning, salt and pepper, olive oil. And I have to say I'm the world's worst about looking at that section and kind of disregarding it, because I'm like, I have olive oil, I have all of that stuff. But today, I'm like down to my last few drops of olive oil. Okay, it's done. That's it. Okay, that's okay. I think it was enough to work. So we're gonna just zip this up, and then we're gonna put our sauce ingredients in a small bowl. So I'm gonna shake this one up. It says to add remaining ingredients to a bowl with a lid. I have lots of little bowls up there. Okay, so everything else is gonna go in this bowl. So let me get my heavy whipping cream, which is right here. And I love, one of the things about the meal plans too is that you can search by ingredient. So if you have something that you want to use up, let me see how much I need. Okay, if you have some ingredients that you want to use up that maybe are gonna go bad, or you just wanna get them out of your pantry, you can actually go search by ingredient with the meal plan. So say you had, I don't know, leftover black beans or something like that that you wanted to use. You can actually, there's a tab that says view all recipes. And on that tab, you can search by whatever ingredient it is that you're wanting to use, and it'll show you only recipes with that particular ingredient. I can save so much money doing that and using that, because that way I use up ingredients that I need to use up, that maybe I only used, part of for something else. So I love that we have that option to search by ingredient, and I use that every single week. Okay, for chicken broth, in case you're wondering, I actually just used chicken bouillon, which is like a chicken bouillon paste. So anyway, I use that instead of chicken broth, which is really flavorful. I've kind of switched over recently, and I love the way it tastes. Okay, and then we need our pesto, which I have right here. Well, I may have to, I don't measure a lot, so I usually don't get a lot of measuring spoons out. This one has 2 sides. I'm gonna use the other side, but I gotta get this little chunk out. Okay, so I'm gonna put the pesto in. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm eyeballing. I'm still looking at the recipe to see how much I need. And then we need just a little bit of lemon juice. Now, let me find it real quick. I typically just use the little, not jars, bottles of lemon juice, because it's easy and quick. I didn't have any. I had lots of lime juice. So, but I did have this lemon, so I'm gonna use that instead, which obviously works just fine as well. Okay, put a little bit of that in there. That's gonna be so good. Okay, so I do need to water this down just a little bit because it called for chicken broth. I used the bouillon, but when you use the bouillon paste like that, you just add water, and so that makes the chicken broth. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that there as well. So let me tell you what this one's gonna look like on cooking day. I've never made this one before. So it tells you to add your salmon to a large baking sheet. You're gonna cook your salmon. Ours will be our shrimp, which are gonna cook super fast. And then it says while your salmon is cooking, you're gonna cook your pasta. You're gonna put your sauce in with that cooked pasta, and then you're just gonna toss your salmon, or in our case, our shrimp in there, and that is it. So super easy. This one calls for a Caesar salad kit and dinner rolls as your serving sides, and all that will go on your grocery list. So that was meal number 5. I'm gonna do a quick recap just to show you the meals that we've prepped, and I'm gonna get them in my refrigerator. Take me about 10 minutes to clean up, and I'm ready to go for the week. So let me bring these other meals back over here. And these truly do not take up very much space in my refrigerator. So, and I've actually managed to kind of get them all nice and neatly stacked up here for the most part. So we did the red pesto chicken. I'm excited about this one. We haven't had this one yet. This is a slow cooker meal. We did the Mongolian ground beef ramen bowls that I have prepped right there. The easy cheddar chicken crescent rolls have the mixture of that prepped right there. And then we have our huli huli chicken, which I have my extra sauce back here. And I'm gonna get the extra air out of here, okay? And then we have the pesto salmon pasta, but we're doing shrimp. So we have our shrimp right there, and I'm gonna put a lid on this. So that is ready to go. It's gonna go in my refrigerator. So that way I don't have to remember to take it out of the freezer, so I don't forget. I'm just gonna pull it fresh out of the refrigerator. I'm just gonna keep an eye on my sell-by dates. And then when it's cook day, I have my instructions. If I'm not home, I can easily leave this for my husband and say, hey, this is what we're having tonight, pull it out of the fridge, and he can just go down those quick instructions on how to cook it. And it makes it super easy for him to get dinner on the table even when I'm not home. So check out the meal plans. This has truly been a lifesaver for our family. It makes dinner time a breeze and so easy. So check it out, see how it works for your family.